This podcast explores health, wellness, and disability topics and may include sensitive content. Views expressed are personal and for general information only, not professional advice. Please seek guidance from qualified professionals as needed. Tanya Talaga is a Canadian First Nations, Anishinaabe, and Polish journalist and the author of The Knowing. Talaga is also known for her book, 7 Fallen Feathers, Racism, Death, and Hard Truth in a Northern City, and All Our Relations, Finding the Path Forward. In her headshot, Tanya has long, dark brown hair with a distinguished long silver streak. She is wearing a black blouse with white designs and stripe accents. She is seated in front of a gray backdrop, offering a slight smile. Her posture exudes an inner strength as she rests her hands on her novel, The Knowing, displayed on a black cloth table in front of her. In this episode, Freedom to Know Wellness welcomes actor, director, producer, and freelance arts entertainment journalist Lara Tai as a guest interviewer as we collaborate for this interview with author Tanya Talaga.
So we were speaking and you talked about the Indigenous experience and how it wasn't told. I wonder if you could speak a little bit more about that in terms of why you wrote the book and why you wanted to create this awareness.
So I tell my stories from a First Nations perspective, because there's 3 different Indigenous groups in Canada, Métis, First Nations, and Inuits. And First Nations people, we are governed, most of us are under something called the Indian Act, right? Which is a racist piece of legislation that was put forward in Canada in 1876. And all of my books come from the perspective of my family and our lived experience. And so each one of my books, 7 Fallen Feathers, All Our Relations, and The Knowing, comes from that experience, for sure.
And then you also started with a file folder from your uncle and then Finding Annie. So maybe expand a little bit more about that.
And that's right, yeah. So my uncle, he had spent most of his life looking for Annie, looking for information about his grandma, James's grandma, and his mom, Liz, her daughter. Why she never talked about which residential school she went to, or why she wasn't proud of who she was, what happened to her. Were there other family members out there that we had no idea about? So he had this file folder that he kept for years before the internet. And when he died, that was passed on to me and Tanya Talaga. And my mom gave it to me and asked me for a long time to find Annie. And it wasn't until just recently that I went back to it and started to look for her.
Last question. A lot of times when we find out about tough stories, we're given like a file folder. We're not given the full story. So you found a way to sort of find out the information from your family and then get to the point where you wrote a book. What inspired you and kept you persevering about finding out the true story for yourself?
It's the truth, right? I wanted to find out the truth about what happened to our women. And I wanted everyone to see, I wanted every First Nations family to see that we all share the same stories. This is one family story, but every single one of us have children that went to Indian residential schools, or grandparents or great-grandparents, cousins or uncles or aunties or community members. They went to Indian hospitals. They were sent to tuberculosis sanitarium, to asylums. We all share that, sadly, that history. And so I hope that my book is able to inspire others to tell their story. And that's how we change the narrative of Canada.
But what I find that's so impactful about your story, and all of your stories writing this memoir, and I was speaking with Morgan about the individual and immediate family healing. But with you, you're not just healing your family, you're healing a generation of people, which is integral to be able to continue the healing process of what is going on today.
We're all on this journey, like every single First Nations family knows what I'm talking about. And we still live this. This is not, we are, yes, healing, but we're still fighting for equity.
But thank you for continuing the charge in healing by telling your stories.
Thank you. No other option. No other option. Thank you. We just spoke with Tanya Talaga, and her book is called The Knowing.
Thank you for listening to this episode. To have your voice heard on Freedom to Know Wellness, email us at info@freedomtoknowwellness.ca. For content like this and more, subscribe to the Freedom to Know Wellness blog at freedomtoknowwellness@substack.com. And for more podcasts, follow our FTK Wellness YouTube channel and find Freedom to Know Wellness on all major podcast platforms. And don't forget us on social media at FTK Wellness.